Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real straight, no sugarcoating, no fluff. Every one of you sitting here has two versions of yourself living inside you. One version is weak. That version talks you out of your dreams, whispers, you can't do it, it's too hard, you're not ready. And then there's the stronger version, the one that doesn't make excuses, the one that pushes through, the one that knows failure is not the end, but the fuel. Today, I want you to kill that weak version of yourself. I want you to stand up, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, I'm done living in fear. I'm done settling for less. I'm done being the person who always says tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about something that's keeping more people broke, unhappy, and stuck than anything else in this world. And that's excuses. Oh, yes, excuses. I know you've heard it before, but let me break it down for you in a way that's going to hit you right in the heart. You see, the moment you start making excuses for yourself is the moment you start giving your power away. Every excuse you make is a little brick in the wall that's keeping you from your greatness. And I don't know about you, but I didn't come this far in life to sit down and let excuses run the show. You have got to take full ownership of your life. And it starts by cutting out the nonsense that keeps you playing small. Now, I know it's easy to make excuses. It's easy to say, I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I don't have the right connections. I'm not smart enough. The economy is bad. The boss is unfair. The world is against me. Oh, I could go on, but we all know the list, don't we? And let me tell you, every time you say something like that, you're telling yourself you don't deserve better. You're telling yourself that someone else has to make your life work for you. That's weakness, and weakness will never get you anywhere. If you want to level up, if you want to be the person you know you're capable of being, you have got to stop blaming everything and everyone around you. Life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. If you'll just stop letting excuses block your path. I want you to think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. What do you notice about them? They don't sit around making excuses. They don't complain about the weather or their boss or the hand they were dealt. They do the work. They put in the effort. They make the calls. They take risks. And more importantly, they get up every time they fall because they understand something that the weak version of yourself doesn't. Success is about action, not excuses. The difference between those who live their dreams and those who live with regret is simple. It's action without excuses. The person who's crushing it in life does not have more hours in the day than you do. They don't have a magic wand. They just refuse to let excuses run their life. Let me tell you something else. Excuses are comfortable. They are easy. They make you feel justified in staying right where you are. You get to blame the world instead of blaming yourself. And for a moment, that feels good. But let me tell you that comfort is a trap. It's a trap that keeps your dreams small, keeps your bank account small, keeps your confidence small, keeps your life small. And I don't know about you, but I don't want small. I want huge. I want to look back on my life and know that I gave everything I had and then some. And you can only do that if you start holding yourself accountable instead of hiding behind excuses. I want you to understand that excuses are sneaky. They sound good, but they're lying to you. They make you think you're being reasonable when really you're sabotaging yourself. I can't start my business because I don't have money. That's an excuse. I can't get in shape because I don't have time. That's an excuse. I can't go back to school because I'm too old. Excuse. Excuse. Every single one of those statements is just the weak version of you trying to stay comfortable. And comfort kills. Comfort will take everything you dream of and leave you wondering where it all went. If you want to change your life, you have to kill that weak voice in your head and say, I am not letting excuses run my life anymore. I am taking control. You see, when you stop making excuses, something magical happens. You start looking for solutions instead of problems. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start realizing that you are stronger than you thought, smarter than you gave yourself credit for, and capable of more than you ever imagined. Stop telling yourself you can't and start telling yourself, how can I make this work? That shift in thinking is the difference between living a life of mediocrity and living a life of greatness. Excuses keep you stuck in the mud, but action will lift you up. Action will carry you through the fear. Action will get you from where you are to where you want to be. And let me tell you something else. Excuses are contagious. If you sit around making excuses, you're going to attract people who make excuses. But if you stop making excuses, if you decide today that you are done hiding behind "I can't," you will attract people who do the work, people who inspire you, people who push you to be better. You want to be around winners? Stop making excuses. You want to be rich? Stop making excuses. You want to be respected? Stop making excuses. The world doesn't owe you anything. You have to take it, and the first step is to stop giving your power away by making excuses. So I'm challenging you right now to look in the mirror and see yourself for who you really are. Not the person who's scared, not the person who's hiding, not the person who's making excuses. See the person who has greatness inside. That person is ready to rise, ready to fight, ready to take control. And you cannot let excuses stand in the way. Excuses are weak. Excuses are a luxury for the people who will never achieve their potential. You are not that person. You are a fighter. You are a winner. You are someone who refuses to settle. And it all starts with taking responsibility for your life, owning your actions, and saying to yourself, "No more excuses. I am done." Ladies and gentlemen, stop making excuses for yourself. Stop giving power to the weak version of yourself. Stop blaming the world, the economy, the weather, your circumstances, your family, your job, anything. Excuses are lies you tell yourself to feel safe, to stay comfortable, to stay small. But you are not here to be small. You are here to be great. And greatness doesn't come to people who make excuses. It comes to people who take action, who embrace responsibility, and who refuse to let fear or weakness control their life. Stop making excuses and start living like the person you were born to be. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Real straight, talent alone will not get you where you want to go. Dreams don't work unless you do. You can have all the ideas, all the visions, all the plans in the world, but if you don't embrace discipline and put in the work, nothing is ever going to change. I want you to understand that discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. And let me tell you something else. The weak version of yourself hates discipline. That version wants shortcuts. It wants easy. It wants comfort. It wants to sleep in when you should be grinding. But the strong version, the version that's going to succeed, that's going to rise above, that's going to live the life you've been dreaming about, it thrives on discipline. It welcomes it. It craves it. It knows that without discipline, dreams remain dreams and goals remain wishes. You see, discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you choose every day. It's that inner voice that says, "I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway." It's waking up early when your bed is warm and your body is tired. It's putting in extra hours when no one is watching. It's making the hard choice over the easy one day after day after day. Discipline is boring, yes, but it's powerful. And here's the thing about hard work. It never lies. The hours you put in, the effort you give, the sweat you spill, they will show up. They will pay off. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but when the time comes, discipline and hard work will always separate the winners from the losers. And I don't know about you, but I want to be a winner. I don't want to be someone who talks about what could have been. I want to be someone who did what needed to be done. Let me break it down for you. You want to be successful? You want to reach the level where people say, "Wow, how did they do it?" You can't rely on luck. You can't rely on chance. You can't rely on anyone else to push you forward. It's on you. You've got to embrace the grind and you've got to love it. Discipline is not punishment. It's freedom. It's freedom from the weak version of yourself that wants to quit. Freedom from the excuses that hold you back. Freedom from the life you're settling for right now. Hard work is the price of freedom, the ticket to the life you've always imagined. And the more disciplined you become, the more doors open. The more doors open, the more opportunities you can take. And the more opportunities you take, the closer you get to becoming the person you're capable of being. I want you to picture the life you want. Picture the bank account, the house, the family, the respect, the happiness. Now let me ask you, how bad do you want it? Because here's the truth. No one is going to hand it to you. No one is going to hand you your dreams. You have to work for them. You have to show up every day, even when it hurts. You have to embrace the discomfort because that's where growth happens. The weak version of you wants comfort, wants to take breaks, wants to coast. The strong version pushes through even when the world is against them. That's the difference. And if you want to kill that weak version, if you want to become unstoppable, you have got to embrace discipline like your life depends on it, because it does. Hard work is not glamorous. Let me tell you that. There's no red carpet, no trophies handed out while you're grinding in the dark. The reward comes later. The reward comes when people start noticing the results, not the excuses. The reward comes when your hard work creates opportunities that would have never existed if you stayed lazy or distracted or comfortable. Every champion you admire, every person who's accomplished something extraordinary, they have one thing in common: they worked. And they worked long before anyone else was watching. They were disciplined in private so they could shine in public. They were consistent in the small actions so the big wins would follow. And I promise you, if you embrace that same discipline, you will see results you never thought possible. And here's something else about discipline: it builds character. The person who works hard day in and day out doesn't just gain money or success, they gain self-respect. They gain confidence. They gain the knowledge that they can handle life no matter what it throws at them. That kind of strength doesn't come from talent. It doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from showing up and doing the work consistently, relentlessly. The weak version of yo herself wants to quit at the first sign of trouble, the first failure, the first criticism. The strong version keeps going, keeps learning, keeps improving. And that, my friends, is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the winners. Let me be real with you. Discipline will demand sacrifices. You'll have to give up some comfort, some entertainment, maybe even some relationships that don't support your growth. But those sacrifices are temporary. The rewards are permanent. The weak version of you wants everything now, wants it easy, wants it quick. But the strong version knows that success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's the daily grind, the small wins stacked on top of each other that create the life you dream of. Every day you practice discipline. Every day you push yourself to do what you don't feel like doing. You're killing that weak version of yourself and building a new, stronger version. Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to one choice. Do you want to be weak, comfortable, and stuck? Or do you want to be strong, disciplined, and unstoppable? Discipline is the key. Hard work is the vehicle. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks that replace it. If you want to kill that weak version of yourself, if you want to rise, if you want to achieve, you have got to embrace discipline like it's your lifeline, like it's your only hope, because that's exactly what it is. The moment you start showing up, the moment you start putting in the work, the moment you embrace the grind, everything changes. You stop being a spectator in your own life. You stop making excuses. You start becoming the person you were born to be. And let me tell you, that on is unstoppable, relentless, and unshakable. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to hear me loud and clear today. Your life is yours, nobody else's. The choices you make, the decisions you take, the direction you go in, those are all in your hands. And yet so many people spend their whole lives blaming someone else for where they are. If only my parents did this. If only my boss gave me that. If only I had more luck. Stop it. Stop making your life someone else's responsibility. The moment you realize that you and only you are responsible for your life is the moment you take power back from the weak version of yourself. The weak version wants to blame, wants to complain, wants to point fingers. The strong version says, I decide my life, my future, and my destiny. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is freedom. You have to understand this. Excuses and blame are easy. They let you off the hook. They make you feel like you're not at fault, like life is unfair, like the universe is against you. But let me tell you something. The weak version of yourself doesn't want you to know. Life is fair to the person who owns their decisions, the person who stops making excuses, the person who stops whining, the person who stops blaming others. They take responsibility for their choices. And once you take responsibility, you stop being a victim and you start being a victor. You start taking control. You start steering your life in the direction you want instead of drifting wherever the current takes you. Think about it. Every decision you've made, every choice has led you to this moment. Some choices were good, some bad, some you regret, some you celebrate. But here's the truth. Regret on a why has power if you let it. The weak version of yourself will sit there and dwell on the past, crying over the mistakes, wishing someone else had made it different. But the strong version learns. The strong version takes ownership and says, what can I do now to move forward? What decisions do I need to make today to create the life I want tomorrow? That shift in thinking is what separates the people who keep complaining from the people who keep winning. Owning your decisions is not just about saying yes or no to opportunities. It's about taking full accountability for the consequences. Sometimes the decisions you make will hurt. Sometimes they will fail. Sometimes people will criticize you. And let me tell you, the weak version of yourself is terrified of that. It's scared to make a move because it might be wrong. It might cause discomfort. It might bring failure. But the truth is, growth only happens when you take risks. Life only moves forward when you step up and own it. You can't wait for permission. You can't wait for approval. And you sure as hell can't wait for the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment. There's only what you do with the moment you have. Let's get real. Your future is not written in stone. Nobody's life path is predetermined. Nobody is destined to fail or succeed because of luck alone. Your future is a result of the decisions you make every single day. And that means you have power, the kind of power that can't be taken from you. You can decide to quit excuses. You can decide to step up. You can decide to take responsibility for your actions. And you can decide to pursue the life you've always wanted. That power is in your hands, and the moment you claim it, the weak version of yourself has no choice but to step aside. I want you to think about the people you admire, the people you respect. What do they all have in common? They didn't wait for someone else to make the path for them. They didn't sit back and blame circumstances. They owned their decisions. They made choices, good or indie bad, and they lived with them. They learned from mistakes, adapted, and kept going. That's how they became successful. That's how they became respected. That's how they became unstoppable. And that's exactly what you have to do if you want to kill the weak version of yourself. Here's the thing. Owning your decisions also means being honest with yourself. Stop lying to yourself about why you're stuck, why you're behind, why things aren't working out. Stop blaming the economy, your boss, your spouse, your friends, your past, or anything else. Those are distractions. Those are excuses. Your life is a result of your choices, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start making the right ones. The weak version wants to hide from this truth, but the strong version embraces it. The strong version says, I may have made mistakes, but I will not make the same ones again. I am in control. I am responsible. I am capable. And let me tell you, owning your decisions doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. It builds confidence. It builds self-respect. It builds courage. When you know that you are the author of your life, nothing can shake you. You stop being afraid of failure because you understand that every choice, even the ones that don't work out, is part of the process. You stop being afraid of judgment because you know you are accountable to yourself first, not to anyone else. That kind of strength, that kind of clarity, that kind of power comes from ownership. It comes from making a decision and saying, this is mine. I will see it through. I will learn from it. I will rise. Ladies and gentlemen, let me challenge you right now. Stop letting the we, IK version of yourself run your life. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop blaming other people and stop making excuses. Own your decisions, own your actions, and own your future. Say to yourself, I am responsible. I am in control. I will not let fear or weakness dictate my life. I will make the choices that lead me to the person I am meant to be. When you do that, The weak version has no power. When you do that, you start shaping your destiny. When you do that, your life stops happening to you and starts happening because of you. That, my friends, is what it means to truly own your decisions and your future. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand something right now. If you want to kill that weak version of yourself, if you want to rise above mediocrity, if you want to truly become unstoppable, there is one thing you must do above all else. You must become relentless in self-improvement. Now, I'm not talking about some casual, I'll read a book once in a while type of thing. I'm talking about a full-on, no excuses, all-in commitment to leveling up every single day. The moment you stop growing, the moment you stop learning, the moment you stop pushing yourself, you start dying little by little. The weak version of yourself is content staying the same, but greatness lives in growth, and growth comes to the person who refuses to settle. Self-improvement is not just about money. It's not just about career. It's not just about fitness. It's about the person you are becoming every single day. Are you becoming wiser, stronger, braver, more disciplined, more compassionate, more resilient? Every day is a chance to upgrade yourself, to push a little further, to learn a little more, to shed habits and beliefs that no longer serve you. And let me tell you something. The weak version of yourself hates this. That version is comfortable with laziness, comfortable with excuses, comfortable with being average, but the strong, relentless version, that version thrives on challenge, thrives on growth, thrives on becoming the best version of themselves, no matter what it takes. Think about it like this. The world doesn't stop changing, and neither should you. Every day, opportunities come and go. Every day, someone else is working harder than you, learning faster than you, improving while you stay the same. And when you choose to ignore self-improvement, you choose to fall behind. The weak version is okay with that. It's fine with watching life pass them by while blaming the world for not giving them more. But the relentless version, it doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't care if the odds are stacked against it. It doesn't care if people doubt it. It keeps moving forward, keeps learning, keeps improving, and keeps building momentum. That, my friends, is how you become unstoppable. Now, here's the real truth about self-improvement. It's uncomfortable. Growth is never comfortable. It challenges you, it stretches you, it exposes your weaknesses, it tests your patience, it forces you to face your fears. And that is exactly why the weak version avoids it. The weak version wants comfort, wants easy, wants the path of least resistance. But the strong version understands something crucial. Nothing worth having comes easy. The stronger you become, the more capable you are of handling life, the more doors you can open, the bigger your impact can be. So you have to welcome discomfort. You have to chase it. You have to embrace the struggles, the setbacks, the failures, because they are the soil where growth takes root. Relentlessness and self-improvement is about daily habits. It's about consistency. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when nobody is watching. It's reading books that challenge your mind. It's pushing your body beyond what it thought it could do. It's practicing patience. It's learning from mentors. It's reflecting on your actions, and it's being brutally honest with yourself about where you're falling short. The weak version will avoid this work because it seems inconvenient or boring or too hard. But the strong version, that version knows every little bit of effort compounds. Every small win adds up. Every lesson learned builds the foundation for something greater. And before you know it, you are not just different, you are transformed. Let me tell you something else about relentless self-improvement. It's a mindset. It's a refusal to ever settle. It's a refusal to let fear, doubt, or laziness dictate your life. The weak version will say, I've done enough, or I'll start tomorrow, or this is too hard. But the relentless version says, I'm not done. I can do better. I will push harder. I will learn more. I will rise higher. And that mindset is contagious. Once you adopt it, you'll find that everyone around you starts to raise their standards. You'll attract people who inspire you, who challenge you, who lift you higher. And the weak version has no place in that life. It gets left behind, exposed for the coward it is, while you rise, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Self-improvement also means embracing failures as lessons. The weak version fears failure, but the strong, relentless version knows that failure is a teacher, a guide, a stepping stone. Every time you fall, every time you make a mistake, every time you get knocked down, it's an opportunity to grow. And the more you embrace these lessons, the more unstoppable you become. That is how greatness is forged. Not in comfort, not in luck, not in talent, but in relentless improvement, learning from every experience and refusing to let weakness define you. I want you to understand this deeply. Self-improvement is not a destination. There is no point where you arrive and say, I'm done. No, it's a lifelong pursuit. There is always more to learn, more to become, more to achieve. And the moment you stop, the weak version creeps back in. It's waiting for you to rest, waiting for you to quit, waiting for you to lower your standards. But you cannot let it. You have to be relentless. You have to keep sharpening your mind, your skills, your body, your habits, and your mindset every single day. That's how you stay ahead. That's how you grow. That's how you become a force no one can stop. Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to a choice. Will you stay comfortable, satisfied with mediocrity, letting the weak version of yourself run the show, or will you be relentless, committing to self-improvement in every area of your life, pushing yourself harder than ever before, refusing to settle, refusing to quit, refusing to accept anything less than your full potential? The choice is yours. The moment you commit to this, the moment you embrace growth with every fiber of your being, the weak version of yourself dies, and the strong, unstoppable, relentless version rises. And that, my friends, is how you win at life.